for Speed Unbound. We are back. We need to talk about it. They've returned. One of my biggest complaints about this game, they've decided all of a sudden to remove a bunch of vehicles. All of these incredible vehicles on screen right now just were completely gotten rid of for no reason other than the XP boost you received for essentially buying the pack. Well, it would have made you jump the speed pass and level up quicker. This is kind of the point of it anyway. This thing is by far one of my favorite sounding cars in the game. Oh, bro, 1 second. Off, mate, trying to make a video with it. I'm trying to help the people. So we kind of knew why they did it, but ultimately it didn't really make sense still. I gotta lose them twice. I thought I was doing... Hey, thank you. You too. But either way, they are back. And let's talk about it, because there's some things I like and some things I dislike about this. So this is on all systems. You are now able to jump back and purchase the packs. Now, something I noticed, if you jump into here, well, this is the Volume 4 catch-up pack, and it gives you access to two vehicles. So what it tends to do is give you access to the DLC vehicle and then also the Speed Pass vehicle, which you had to unlock. So I kind of understand that. So not only does it give you the car from that season, you also get the cosmetics and basically everything that came with it. The thing you don't get anymore is the Speed Pass bonus. So this is a good thing because they have re-added DLC that was removed. One thing that's kind of confusing, I went back on my emails to see how much I paid for just the Lotus. £8.09. So that's the EA Play price. £8.09 also gets you both cars, all cosmetics from that pass, which is quite interesting indeed. So all of these items that you unlocked through the Speed Pass are now obtainable. Essentially, you got early access by unlocking them, and it really does make sense to have these cosmetics buyable, and I personally don't have an issue with that. This pack, this stuff here, should hopefully eventually be purchasable. Realistically, for the most part, people are more focused on, well, the actual cars, which I would argue is a really, really good thing, because some of the best cars in this DLC essentially were gone. They removed them, and now they're back and you can buy them again for the same price, but you actually get more worth from your money. So if you bought it earlier, I can understand why you feel a little bit miffed. But overall, I'm actually kind of glad that more people get to enjoy this awesome machine. It made no sense that the best DLC cars you could buy were removed after time. Now, if you don't actually know about the DLC, this is the first time actually maybe being able to buy the DLC because you've just got the game recently. Well, of course, that's great for you. And by the way, the Mustang is one of the best drift cars. Muscle cars tend to spin up their wheels quite aggressively, and that's essentially all you need to count as drift, is to spin up the wheels. Hey, yo, let's go! Let's go, you are drift with me, boy. Now, they handle the exact drive the exact same as their standard counterparts. The reason this DLC is cool is because it has special customization on it. If that doesn't bother you at all, well, you can continue as you were and not purchase them. Hey! I don't know whose idea was to put Crushka back in the game. I do think it's a little bit weird that now that all of our progression has now basically just gone to waste. It's a little bit odd. Of course, the DLC cars that they had for free, that effort was still counted, but the Speed Pass progression has now become kind of completely useless, which I don't know. Is it useless if it's FOMO timed exclusive? Like, you still get access to it? There's kind of two sides to it, because they essentially get those cars for free with no extra effort involved or money. Not that that bothers me, because the price of the cars should come down over time. It's a really just back and forth, and I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to feel. Ultimately, I'm just glad for the majority of players that you can now access cars that you didn't have access to previously. That's always a good thing. The good news is hopefully this means all future stuff is going to have the same route, is that you can actually buy... Oh, yeah, you can't bust me! And actually kind of makes me pretty confident in saying that we are probably going to see these cars in the next game without having to buy them again. These customizations are going to carry across as like free additions in the next game. By them doing this and not just removing them forever, it just gives me that they're not going to recharge us for the same DLC again. They just cannot do it. It will not be acceptable in any way at all. And let's go over the top. It makes me know they've listened and learned and are progressing forward, which is definitely more than I can say for them generally with the whole Unbound build-up and launch. It was very weird. overall. I think a big question for me is what kind of comes after this. Now, usually when it comes to games like this, they've got a whole pack of content that basically they were making to do other stuff with later. There's a hell of a lot of cars likely that they're just not in the game. Hell, a lot of items and things to unlock, and I really do think there needs to be something long-term to unlock. I said it previously when we spoke about the update that should be coming. Hopefully we will see, because there's no way, like, I'm still level 55. The last time I played this was to unlock the car. I'm now level 55. That's 5 levels in what feels like months at this point. There's got to be something to work for. It just, it doesn't make sense. For new players, there's plenty. But I'm sat here with like 6 million to my name. I have all the cars that I could want already. The DLC that I haven't bought, I'm not interested in. It's like a Mini Cooper that's big and stupid. It's not a Mini Cooper. And an SUV that's a G-Wagon. No, we need something to play on the cops more. We need make use of what the game does better than anyone else, because the cops feel like a weak point. They really should be toyed with and create a new mode. Something kind of simple, something very easy. But hey, that's not my decision to make. That's up to them. Now, here's the thing, I'm not really ready to speak about fully what to expect for the next game or next update. He says as he's already made a video on 2024 Need for Speed. It is also worth noting that all, for example, the EA Play cards that you may have missed, well, if you get them, they all now stack. They return if you lose EA Play. And so I don't know how it works. I've never lost the EA Play, so I don't know about the performance parts, but someone in the comments can let us know that. But something to remember, and this is pretty important. Now, before Criterion was the head of Need for Speed, we had Ghost, okay? But when Ghost had been shuttered, we got something a little cool in Need for Speed Heat, the crossplay update. Now, this crossplay update was actually crafted by what was left of Ghost. Now, it may have been that Ghost was already working on this update and Criterion essentially finished it, or Ghost UK essentially finished it, but Ghost UK ended up becoming what was the base of Criterion, or added to Criterion, and created the Need for Speed Foundation. Now, from memory, that was a pretty small team. A pretty small team that needed to get at figuring out how Need for Speed worked, and they implemented something so crazy as crossplay to a game. Well, the foundation of the game didn't support it. That's a lot of work to be done. Normally, I'm quite generous. I'm like, add something simple. I understand that development time and cost, and it's expensive, and all these factors in play, but it wouldn't surprise me if this small team added something so substantial to the game as the ability of creating our own races, or something like maybe a cop mode. Something really fun that could revitalize the game a little bit, especially when you then compare it to the likes of the Crew Motorfest that's getting a hell of a lot of content. And what I want to round it up by saying is that no matter what they do, they add stuff or they don't, I feel like people are going to be unhappy. The Crew Motorfest adds something new, something fresh, every week, and people are still disappointed, always. And then I play Call of Duty and I'm like, damn, these racing game devs add a hell of a lot to the game. What the hell are we complaining about? Let me know your thoughts. Are you buying the DLC? Are you not? Are you disappointed? What? Just let me know. I want to know your thoughts.